over here. Wolf Boy, all right, cool. Audio's good to go. YouTube off the ground, Twitch off the ground, TikTok off the ground. Very cool stuff. Okay, here we go. We are good. Guys, welcome back to the Joyage Kingdom. I'm Cage, your guide. I'll be replacing Little Voice inside your head for now, giving you a break from the constant internal monologue that is the human mind. I want to say first, thank you for listening and viewing on whatever platform you're on. If you haven't already, smash that like button for me. Oh, Jesus. Nope. If you haven't already, smash the like button for me. Subscribe to the channel. Join the kingdom. If you guys are watching me on Twitter Spaces, make sure you hit the likes and the retweets. It's the best way to support the space. Guys, this podcast is brought to you guys by Bet Gaming. We are on their Twitch right now, so if you want to earn some like literal passive income just from hanging out, chilling, you can earn points literally by every 10 minutes. I think you earn points. You can exchange those for cash prizes on their platform. So shout out to Bet Gaming. They're a crypto company looking to bring generational motherfucking wealth to all you degenerate players and gamblers alike. We're gonna be bringing our educational content and podcasts just like this over to their degen audience. Make sure to check them out. We're actually live again right now on their Twitch. So check us out, fam. Check us out. Anyways, today's guest is Noah Major. As many of you know him, know of Nico. He is Nico's PR. What is it, Neko or Nico? It's Nico, right? Oh wait, hold on. Your audio just cut out. Are you muted?
It's Nico, not Neko.
Nico. Okay, Nico. All right, cool. He's the Nico's PR manager, astounding TikToker, looking to onboard and educate people on the Near protocol in the outside world. He likes to change people's lives with their fitness journeys. He also likes to occasionally make fun of Cade because he hasn't found a wife yet. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me in welcoming Mr. Noah Major. Let's fucking go. Yo, welcome to the show.
Kid. I'm super excited to be on here. Been friends for some time, and it's really cool to be on the show in this way instead of just watching it. So thanks for having me.
Hell yeah, man. And towards the end of the show, guys, I'm going to open up the stage on Spaces towards the very end, though, for like an AMA style. If you guys have any random questions that pop up, you can either throw them in the comments or you can request at the very end of the podcast. So, yeah, guys, we're going to talk about all the things. We're going to talk about Near Protocol because that's been all over my fucking feed because the man is he's a monster on TikTok. That's honestly, I think the main reason we connected was all the consistency he put in. And I was just shocked at the level of content he puts out about Near Protocol, super educational style, which is very similar to my style. And so we just kind of vibed really easily there. We hopped on a TikTok live, I think, with a few people. We've done some panels and things like that. And we've discussed crypto stuff with like, I forget if we did it with like Blockchain Boy or Josh, or I know Patrick was on with us before. But dude, why, how, Near?
Yeah, great question. So a big part of that is TikTok. I mean, a whole lot of the Web3 journey comes from TikTok. January of 2021, I started investing in crypto. That was post the onset of the pandemic, right? I learned a little bit of stocks. In 2020, made a little bit of baby money. I was like, this is interesting. So naturally, the progression of stocks is crypto because crypto is the GOAT. So started learning about crypto, got really into Ethereum. I was working at my school gym. So at Texas A&M, whoop, if there's any Aggies out there, I was working every shift, trying to put as much money as I could into Ethereum. And that was through about probably September that year. In August, September, I started buying NFTs. And the first NFT I ever bought was a Rumble Kong. So shout out to the Rumble Kong League. They are on heck of sale right now. And if their game comes out and looks good, that'll be awesome. So that was the first one I ever bought. Flipped that. And the guy that actually put me on Rumble Kong, I work for him now. So I work for David Lear, who works indirectly for Near Protocol. And that is why Near Protocol. And so I said, hey, man, I reached out to him one time. I just DM'd him because in Web3, you just kind of DM people. In Web2, you don't. You're kind of scared to talk to people. There's the classic interview process. Whereas Web3, you slide straight into their DMs. You're like, hey, man, thanks for the way you impacted my life or whatever it is. And then they come back to you and then you just start talking. So it's really interesting. And he's like, hey, let's get on a call. So I did. I came on as a content creator for them. So I help run the Nico is Near TikTok account. That's a whole nother thing. And yeah, we work to educate and onboard people to the Near protocol. And yeah, that's how I started working in Web3 through a lot of posting TikToks. And that was my kind of experience. My resume.
So much. And so I had the pleasure. I'm not going to pull up all the tabs because honestly, there's 5 of them and I thought they were open, but they weren't. So I'm going to let them load for a second. But you and I did a little bit of a deep dive Near protocol because we were like, all right, hold on, fam, practice run through. Thank God we fucking did because we were sitting there for 20 minutes. There's like multiple websites for loading. We were like, wait, no, it's this one, it's this one. But I want to show that to you guys in a few minutes here to kind of go through what it really looks like when you guys are going to start like messing around with with Near Protocol, because it took, I mean, if we had just cut out like not knowing which website it was or which button it was, which was just silly stuff, it would have taken me, Jesus. All right. Camera's just chilling. I'm not sure what's going on there, but it would have taken me probably like 3 minutes total to set everything up. It was super seamless. Like once we just got the buttons right and we were like, okay, this is the one to do. It was so fucking simple. It was so easy to use. Is that what originally got you excited? Because this kind of thing is cool, but I feel like this sort of thing, once the other like platforms and stuff catch up, what is like the thing that really, really makes it unique that you love about it, that you love to talk about? Because you're literally making so much content. It's unreal. Like I've literally never seen this much content put out about one thing. So you're crushing it in that regard.
Thanks, man. Yeah, and that was just the tip of the iceberg, because that was specifically the companies I work for. So that is Nico, and when we were talking earlier, we're talking, hey, is it Neko? Is it Nico? It is technically a Neko cat. We're not trying to misrepresent the cat, but it's a play on words because we want to become the Nico, not the Nico. We want to become the Near Protocol ecosystem, or the Near ecosystem, hence the Nico system. So it's a Neko cat. And we poked around on the Jump DeFi website. So we poked around on NicoToken.xyz. And that's just a small part of Near Protocol. Cade, you'll probably remember this. Back in, I feel like I think it was 2021. Remember Sweatcoin?
Oh my God, I think I do.
Bro, yeah, Sweatcoin onboarded like millions of users. I feel like probably not million, maybe hundreds of thousands of users to the Near Protocol without them even knowing. It's kind of like the classic like Reddit, move where you don't call something an NFT, you call it a digital collectible. That's what they did. And so Sweatcoin is one of the biggest. Sweatcoin is one of the biggest setups on the Near Protocol. And the reason I'm drawn to Near, I mean, initially I was drawn to Near because it was a job in Web3. And I was like, that's my freaking goal. Why I'm staying is because an amazing team I work with, they're doing a whole lot of stuff, and Near is so focused on the user experience and their work with, in the past with Google Cloud and all that stuff. It's just a big deal. Their founder's awesome, and his background in AI is really big. And there's some really, really cool tech that is getting rolled out from Near here pretty soon at ETH Denver, I would guess. They're kind of teasing on their Twitter, and it's going to be pretty cool. I can't really talk about it because I don't really know about it, but ETH Denver,
Patrick in here.
People know about it. So
you see Patrick who says, "Oh, I didn't realize Sweatcoin was on Near with the
right?
eyes emoji."
Right, Pat. I don't think anybody did, unless you're like a Near insider. You're like, oh yeah, nice.
Yeah, you're getting the true insider alpha here from No on the Nico. That's some funny shit, dude. Also, it's cool because you mentioned something that's very I speak passionately about, which is the idea of like going out and like seeing a job and like making the job almost. Like I remember my dad, when I first got the analyst position on Ugaverse NFT back in September of 2021, which was my first foray into Web3, he was like, "Holy shit!" He was like, "Bro, you just made a job," and like he's like, "I don't even know how you did that," and I was like, "Dude, I don't know how I did that. I just like figured that would work, and I just wanted to make content about it, and I started doing it." And then so the idea though of like, did you start making content to sort of get their attention first, or did that come after? I forget what you said.
Yeah, honestly, it was afterwards. I wasn't like I've listened to your talks about like creating a job, or like, hey, this video, when I create this video is for all the potential employers that could see me. And so instead of like, I've heard some of your videos are not for mass appeal. They are, hey, what is a knockout for them? And then they're like, hey, we have no choice but to hire this guy. Honestly, I had no idea about Near. I didn't know what it was. And so I had to get exposure from the company, and they said, hey, check out all this stuff. Hey, check out all this stuff. Our like small company is going to work to bring more users into the Near protocol. And so we work to try to explain tough concepts. Yeah, we want to talk about our own companies built on Near, Jump DeFi, and Nico, but we also want to kind of educate the masses on Web3 in general, but also like, hey, how to make a wallet, hey, how to do this, how to use all these different dexes, like just simple things like that, and more complicated things, whether it's like farming pools, liquidity farming, whatever it is. But we work to make complicated things more simple and really just focus on the user experience, because the user experience is a big mission of the Near protocol itself.
Hell yeah,
So
dude. Also, I noticed something I wanted to pull up here just while I have it. It's part of the white paper. So this is a cool opportunity that I don't really see, at least highlighted, not on like a main white paper. I thought there's a creator fund for Nico. 2.5, so 250 million of the total Nico total token supply is rewarded to creators for making content under the Nico umbrella. Professional content creators are rewarded with Nico to make educational content about the system or about the ecosystem, breaking down DeFi, NFTs, and development on the near in a format that's easy for anyone to understand. That's dope because I just don't see companies realizing this shit. Like I've been saying for months, honestly, years at this point, that they're literally just missing the most important thing ever. They're doing all the work without like just like the final nail. That's like the most important thing that makes everything else worth it is people need to know about this shit. And it needs to come from like authentic sources like you, where it's not like a shield the entire time. It's like, you're like, yo, there's this new thing here, or there's this new update here. It's all just educational focus. And you can tell, I feel like when you watch a crypto content creator, especially after like 4 videos, you're like, all right, this is a fucking clown, you know, or you're like, this is a dope person. And sometimes it's hard to tell. But in my opinion, when you're making educational content, there's a massive difference. But do you know how many are there like a ton of content creators into this, or is this like a low key huge opportunity for a lot of people?
yeah, so it's a low key huge opportunity because it's specifically for people that work through us. So it's like people have to apply to be a content creator. They can't just make people can make a bomb video like a certain Cade Bergman can make a bomb video about the Nico token white paper and like all this other stuff, and we wouldn't have officially taken you on. But you'd be like, huh, hey, drop us your near wallet. That was a bomb video. Let me send you some Nico, and then we send you some token, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But normally speaking, and I pinned it up like in my profile a few times. There's a link we'll post to go. It's not up there right now. To have people apply for content creation, and that is initially how I started. That's how I got into PR and now marketing and now like working on the Twitter side of stuff as well. Also, what you're talking about earlier, the final key is the content creation. Let me read off your pinned tweet that's been your pinned tweet for forever. I immediately thought of this when you went on that spiel. Let me know if my audio is the same, or let me know, if my audio is okay when I switch tabs. Ready?
Okay.
This is from Cade Bergman on November 11th of 2021. Cade, can you hear me good?
Yep.
Awesome. It says NFT companies and teams / devs overlook the power of video, the power of speaking to a camera to articulate. It's the reason your brand will or won't make it. I'm going to give that another retweet, unretweet it, and then retweet it again because that is so true. And that is why content creation is so important, specifically in the Web3 space, specifically in a space that is semi-unregulated, that's super high speed, where you can immediately connect with people. And yeah, trust is a huge thing to build. It takes 10 years to build trust and 2 seconds to lose it. So that is really well said.
Dude, fuck yes. I'm glad you brought that up. I like forgot that's up there. Every time I see it though, every now and then I'll be like, you know what? There's a new one I want to pin up there. And then I'm like, man, this one's too good, bro. This one's just too good. It's so like, it's on point because the amount of companies that are missing it. And it's like hilarious looking at the companies that aren't. And there's a vast difference in like how people perceive the companies that are doing the right work. I mean, just on Twitter, even alone, like not even like, I don't even know if I would consider real content just like, yes, it is real content, actually. I don't even want to offend anyone. It's real content on Twitter. But the people who are just out there sharing themselves, engaging, sharing their opinion on things, just being out there and relevant, it's literally, yeah, Patrick says it exactly right. It's a non-negotiable for brands. I can't imagine being a project, not having, like, especially if you don't have any kind of revenue or something like that. I'm like, so you're just going to sit there? Like, what the fuck? I was like, are you kidding me? Like, that can't be how it's done. And I was gonna ask, so like for yourself, to bring it back to Nico here. So you're in charge of the PR managing. Like, what is your day-to-day normal shit that takes up most of your time? Like, if something takes up like 75% of your time, is there one thing that's that?
Yeah, so it should be managing and interacting with people on Twitter. It used to be I am, up at a good hour of the day and I'm making video after video after video, and I'm putting them in drafts on the TikTok specifically because that is a great place to grow, unless it's banned in your country, and that's tough. And then I would post those throughout the week. And then our Learn to Earn moderator would repost the ones that are not TikTok specific, and they will repost those to Twitter. And once our community verifies they have seen it through a like or comment and all that stuff, they actually get rewarded with Nico. So we're building out a more sophisticated Learn to Earn program, but that is our bare bones, very like barbaric setup right now. So it used to be all content creation. Now it's looking at a lot more tickets. So because Nico has a real listing now, we've been getting all kinds of tickets and questions from centralized exchanges. Some of them are legit. Some of them would like to be legit, and everybody wants us to pay them money to get Nico listed. So it's taking care of tickets. It's managing the ambassadors. We have some amazing ambassadors, and ambassadors are different than content creators. Content creators have the keys to the social medias that post video content. Ambassadors will do things like informative Twitter threads and just interacting on Twitter and all that stuff. So content creators are a cut above as far as payment goes. Ambassadors, they have more ability to earn. And, it's fun because we try to push some of our ambassadors up to content creators. And there's we've done only a little bit of this, but we've done some workshops for our ambassadors to help them grow their own Twitters and how to gain more followers, interact with more accounts, and go on. So if they end up not wanting to work where they're working right now, they can go get a big, PR job or whatever job they want to with another Web3 company, because we're all about people getting into Web3. But yeah, that's the content creation side of our platform, and we're on everything. We're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter. We're even on Reddit and Medium. So we're there.
Damn.
If there's a platform, we're there. And that's not even talking about Near Social, which is a whole social network that is only on Near Protocol. That's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah. Well, I want to pull up. So you guys have a lovely little website and a lovely little marriage of websites, actually. So I just want to run through them just because we can. We just looked at the white paper a little bit, but if you guys go, this is factory.nicotoken.xyz. And so do you want to talk me through this?
I would love to. So I would go ahead and start at the go all the way to the right where it says First Member Advantage on your tabs.
Wow.
I just go to the Nico homepage. So he went to just nicotoken.xyz, and then he went to the white paper. That's why he's in the white paper section. Could you open up a new tab? Okay. Just go nicotoken.xyz.
Token.xyz.
Yeah. So the way he got to the factory is actually through the site. This is the home site for Nico. This will talk about, hey, what we have going on, our partnerships, where you can stake your Nico, where you can stake your NFTs. So let's just reiterate. Nico we are here to onboard people to the Near Protocol. We are trying to educate and onboard people to Web3, specifically Near Protocol. That is the purpose of this company. So mass appeal and improved user experience is our goal. So if you look on the left side where it says stake NFTs, if you click on that yellow button left side, stake NFTs, that'll take us to the spot where we can stake our Good Fortune felines. So Good Fortune felines are our flagship NFT, and they're in the Fortune, not actually on either of these. Another Fortune Factory, that's what it is.
Fortune Factory?
The factory, yeah. Anyway, you can stake your NFTs. I should have sent you a freaky, not a freaky feline, a Good Fortune feline.
You did, didn't you?
I sent you a freaky feline, so that's a Gen 2. But long story short, these little suckers will gain a Unico token the whole time they're sitting and they're earning. I also sent Cade some Nico token, so he is baking it into our Fortune Factory, which is what he's looking at right now. He's paying a 3%.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so he's super wealthy now. And so that's our initial farm offering, and so he's going to be making Nico back from having his Nico token in the factory, and we have reduced sell pressure because of the majority of the Nico being locked up in this Fortune Cookie Vault. Let's jump back to the website again, the home website.
Home website? Yeah,
either or.
One more.
Just go to your far right tab.
No, that's the white paper. We're back. Hold on. Wow, there it is.
Perfect. So Nico is a really interesting concept. We had one of the fairest airdrop distributions kind of in history for our size. We had 22, it says 21 on the website. We had 22,000 plus different holders of Nico. And so you want to talk about hey, people being super stacked, 4 people owning all of the Nico. No, that's not the case at all. Good Fortune felines and Classy Kangaroos were kind of funding for the project up front. And we airdropped the heck out of our community between Nico token for holding Good Fortune felines, for the freaky felines they had in their wallet, for all these different things. The voucher was was there, but basically we distributed to everybody. No company on Near Protocol has had a widely distributed airdrop as wide as ours just was. So that was a big deal for us. And those Nico tokens were just like coupons for a while until we actually had our initial public offering or our community like IDO. And so we raised $35,000 in 2 days by bootstrapping our own community. And we were kind of waiting on funding and just we were ready to move forward. And so, hey, thanks. It's a workout shirt. Gain train ain't free is what
Let's
it says.
fucking go.
But yeah, so we bootstrapped ourselves and on our own launch pad on Jump DeFi, which is one of those websites he had up. We can do initial public offerings, IDOs, all that stuff. And so we launched, raised $35,000. And then a week later, we had our public sale and raised $25,000 in 2 hours. And so that was, so that was like our initial funding to let us keep going because we were trying to make it through the bear market. And January just seemed like a good time for it. Where was I at, Cade? Where was your last prompt? I feel like I'm rambling now.
Let's see. No, I mean, rambling is where all the good shit comes from. I swear to God. Like, if I don't ramble, it's like, I remember someone asked me, like, I think yesterday, and we were talking about it, and I was like, I was trying to slow down my speech because someone had told me I talk too fast. And like, I feel like that only matters if you're on stage with a mic or something, because for the most part, I feel like if I slow down, my thoughts are moving too fast. By the time I get there, I will have moved on and forgotten about what I was going to say. And every time I try and speak slowly, I literally forget what I'm saying as I'm saying it. So I have to move fast. But we were here on the website. We were kind of just going through Nico's mission, but we kind of talked about that a second ago. Their creator economy, we also hit that. So we kind of hit a lot about Nico, honestly. I was going to ask you a question that wasn't directly on Near, but it was more related to Web3 jobs as a whole, just to kind of shout out like everyone in the audience, because that's a very sought after position to be in. So shout out everyone who's in the chat. We love y'all. It's cool as fuck to see like a chat moving. Like, I don't know, I'm not used to like Twitch style chats like this. Like on YouTube, they comment, but like not really, because it's like a normal conversation. If they have a thought, they'll put it in. But Twitch is like more interactive. So shout out to the Bet Fury Twitch people and everyone who's out there hanging out with us. There will be a Wolf Boy social giveaway at some point in the stream. And if you're in this stream for more than 10 minutes on Twitch, you'll be earning points to cash out for like cash prizes for real. So shout out to all you guys. But I want to bring value to the people here who are also live, just because this is interesting. You're working a Web3 job, and you're also having a normal job, but you're also working Web3, which is just hard to do. People just can't seem to figure it out. There's so many people asking questions, like they don't know how to get connected. And a lot of the time, I feel like the real answer is because they just don't have any particular skill set, or they don't realize they have the skill set and they're not highlighting it. They're just kind of like, I'm a good person and I'm here. Why don't I have a job kind of thing? What do you think are the skills that kind of lended to you being hired at this position and you being able to be like a big player in like a, within the ecosystem, you're a top player, which is cool as fuck to be part of in this kind of beginner's journey, or this big like hippie movement, if you will, for like the digital world for all of us online?
Yeah, absolutely, Cade. Great question. I feel like one of the kind of skills I have is, just general people skills, but kind of customer satisfaction. And I work in the, customer user experience and hospitality type of ring. And that's because I've been in the fitness industry for 5 years. I'm a personal trainer. This isn't the only thing I do. Yeah, I'm a PR manager. I'm also technically a college student right now, but I'm a college student, I'm a personal trainer, and I'm a PR manager. And so most days I'm working 8+ hours training clients, and I'm learning new personalities every single hour. I'm having, maybe we're just talking about working out, or maybe we're talking like deep personal stuff, like kind of like low key counseling. I turn into a counselor sometimes for people every single hour. And so getting to come home from that and having that perspective of all these different like people's like life journeys and all that stuff, perspective really helps. But I'd like to say, because of that and because of a lot of experiences in college, I'm just not like scared to talk in front of people. So like, as far as like videoing, like for TikTok and stuff, that was easy. Is my content like amazing? No, the quality is not amazing, but like, I'm not scared to get in front of the camera. It's just like, hey, is this worth even videoing? So some level of boldness will go a long way in Web3, especially from like, a community moderator or a community admin or like a marketing or influencer side. And so that was a big deal for me, because I'm not a technical guy when it comes to front end or back end developing. And yeah, once again, I just started videoing Web3 stuff, like documenting my own journey kind of learning stuff as I was going, made some big mistakes, made some small mistakes, made some big wins, and like just videoing generally most of it. And that really, really helped. But just kind of finding a spot, which was honestly found for me because I wasn't like, hey, I want to be a content creator for this company. I was like, hey, that'd be cool if I could do some work via TikTok for Web3. But I honestly, once again, had to kind of be handed it to myself from somebody who believed in me. So shout out to David and Brandon. But they kind of just made a spot for me, and I really appreciate that. And it's really important to have people in your life that can kind of see like different values in you and kind of be like, hey, you'd be really good at this, not so they can control your path or where you're going, but just to kind of like have faith in you. You can be like, huh, yeah, I could do that. And so really shout out to those guys for giving me a spot there.
Hell yeah, man. And also with the boldness, I found that oftentimes I'll like do something bold, but I definitely don't feel bold when I'm doing it. I just like do something and I'm like, fuck it. And I'll just try something and I'm like, okay, it's done. It's fine. And I'll just kind of like pull myself out of the situation, just look at it. And that's honestly how most of like the bold decisions, if you will, happen for me at least. Because I'm not inherently a bold person. I'm not inherently like a self-confident person. Learned that over the past few years. That only developed in the last couple of years, honestly. Just because I don't know why exactly. It's just the way I was raised or something like that. And a certain level of self-confidence does grow within you once you start putting yourself out there and taking some risk on yourself. And you see that 99% of the time you're not going to die if you make a decision. Very rarely are you in a situation like that. And so most of the time you're stressing about things that just are just not a big deal at all. They're just not a big deal. So what do you think? So you have a full team at Nico. How are you like working with these guys on a daily basis, or is most of your work like on your own stuff? Do you like have meetings every single week? Is it difficult having to schedule international calls and stuff? Like I know when I worked with Ugaverse, that was a fucking nightmare, fam. That was a nightmare doing that because there's meetings at 2 a.m, 6 a.m. I'm like in a Goodwill shopping and I get a call like, hey, emergency Discord me. I'm like, oh my God, it's a lot of work, but that was a different position. I was like more of like a community manager and an analyst for that position. But what's your experience been?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like it's pretty easy. I mean, I feel like ever since people got used to working online, working on Zoom for a lot of their stuff, it's really not that tough. Can I do more? Absolutely. Let me just say that for one. But also, getting up early for me, if it's something I'm excited about, is really not that bad. In college, I was in the Corps of Cadets for whatever it's worth. So it's XA&M. It's like it's the ROTC. And so most all my friends have gone on to be like Marine Corps guys or like Navy surface warfare officers or naval aviation. So shout out to all my buddies that are doing scary work. That's some scary stuff. I'm not doing scary stuff at all. And so like getting to just talk in front of a camera, that's easy peasy. That being said, having to get up most mornings before the crack of dawn and go on a very long run or do something very hard or pursue some level of like discomfort really kind of changed the way you see the world. And so for them, it was getting ready for the military and getting ready for them to dominate as officers in our, nation's military. And for me, it was for perspective. And so now when I wake up on a normal day where I can tell myself how early to wake up, dude, it's crazy when you can choose when you wake up and what you do when your feet hit the ground. There's multiple reasons that I go military, but super respect the guys that do that and realizing that other people are doing that and we get to choose what we do in the morning. It's really easy to get up at 4 a.m. for like international calls or scheduling something that's on not Central Standard Time, but what is it? UTC, whatever that is.
UTC.
I think it's 6 hours ahead. That is tough. So those are the early calls. But for me, it's a lot about perspective. And so I'm kind of a morning person, but I'm also kind of I'm just like an underslept person, actually. I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good at like living off of not much sleep. So like 4 to 6 hours is like, all right. 5 hours is the best. Like,
yeah. Let us know, guys. How much are y'all sleeping? I'm averaging. I don't have a real average. I mean, a lot of nights it's like 6, 7, but then there's a lot of nights that it's like 3.
Absolutely. And if you've seen the Sleep is Your Superpower TED Talk, please don't tell me to watch it. I have seen it. I know I got to work on my time management. I know sleep is great. I know when the good hours of sleep are. I know they're, built different and all that stuff. But sleep would be nice. 12 hours. Nice.
And oh Jesus, Baby Fluffy is out here getting 12 hours. Are you fucking kidding me? That's a W. That's a huge W for you. Definitely hold on to that as long as you can. Luke says, "Kate, you don't need sleep. You're young." Hopefully, that's kind of the attitude I've been taking, to be honest. And no one knows exactly how much I don't sleep because of the amount of times me and him joining TikTok live at the very end of my night and the beginning of his day. Even though we're only 3 hours apart, it'll be four. No, it'll be like probably 3, 4 in the morning maybe, and I'll be like, oh, I should probably go to sleep. I've been editing, and Noah's out here drinking coffee, about to go to the gym or something, and I'm like, oh fuck. And we've on multiple occasions just hopped on TikTok live and chopped it up for like an hour.
Those are some of the best times where we meet at the crossroads, and that's perspective right there too. So
fucking go. Patrick's out here getting 7 to 8 hours minimum. Patrick, we're gonna have Patrick on soon too. He's also a super consistent content creator. Honestly, for me, seeing content creators that are this consistent and willing to even bother in a bear market like this gives me hope, but it also gives me like an extra like depth relationship with these kind of people. Like seeing that level of commitment is hard to do. I've done the posting every single day, multiple times a day kind of thing, and it is rough. And I know it is rough on all, like even if you're not editing, it's a lot of work. Because this is not all life. There's a whole lot of shit that you do right outside of this. Like the second this podcast ends, there's other things I have to go fucking do that have nothing to do with NFT stuff or YouTube. There's like relationships, there's people, like there's a whole slew of things that you got to do. And Patrick says you can't function without at least 6 hours. Yeah, fuck. I wish. There's a whole lot of things you got to do outside of this life. So yeah, shout out to all the people who do consistent content because it keeps me alive, fam. It keeps me alive. It made me sad to see a lot of content creators leave. Like a majority of the YouTubers that I knew are gone. And so recently I've been able to have the pleasure of interviewing like Giancarlo, Crypto Gorilla, Cool Times, Mo from Seed Phrase, and all these content creators who are going hard as fuck right now. And it makes me so excited because when the bull market comes, fam, you'll need to know these YouTubers that were here last time, like 7x they're following in a bull run. And I'm like, yo, we're out here putting in the work. We're doing it right. We're connecting with all the right people. If y'all are here right now, if you're watching this live or recorded, and it's 2023 still, you are literally at ground zero with us. Like this is dead bottom. This is as bad as it's going to get probably. So everyone here, make friends with everyone here because this is where we're at. The good thing is, in the future, we have a lot of cool shit like the metaverse. Well, at least I hope so. But I would love to hear that just because I opened up that topic and it popped in my head for a second. I do want to know your perspective on the metaverse. I also want to know your perspective on like a 10-year time frame, what kind of position you're trying to be at as far as like how you want to engage with like online with Web3. Do you still want to be like PR? Or do you want to have like a certain position? You want to have your own project, be a YouTuber? Like what's the move?
Yeah, so I'm gonna lead off with you ever seen Cars, like the Cars movie, like Lightning McQueen? Okay, cool. You know when he gets the Dynaco partnership in the end, and he's like, "Nah, I'm gonna stay with these Rusties guys. They gave me my big break." I've been waiting for a chance to do that in real life. So in theory, I'll still be with the people I'm with right now. We'll just be building something bigger and something cooler. That's kind of where I want to be. I don't know if it'll be in a PR managing role. Yeah, I'll probably want to dial back my training hours as in personal training. And I want to stay, I don't know, half a day doing that. But I want, whatever my employer, I want them to understand that like, hey, he'll be training for 6 hours because I don't want to leave the game. Like I don't want to lose my knowledge of exercise physiology and good coaching cues and all that stuff. Like I still want to change lives that way. But I'd like to do a little bit of both, and they keep me fresh for each other. Like, once I've been in Web3 a ton, I'm burnt out on that. Then I can go read exercise physiology textbooks and prepare training plans. And that's refreshing for me. And when I'm burnt out from that, I can come back to Web3. And that's worked really well for me with no true, like, clean separation between the two. They've all just kind of merged together. And when I'm personal training and talking with people and putting them through a tough workout, I'm thinking about like Twitter Spaces later today at 3 p.m. that I'm going to miss because I have this, and this. And when I'm on those Twitter Spaces, I'm thinking about like, hey, what are my clients going to be doing tomorrow? And so kind of having a mix. I mean, I wish I could just be as simple as just going all in on one. But I find a lot of fulfillment in both. And so I like to stay with the team I'm working with. I'd like to follow them wherever they go. I know we've talked about some really interesting ideas that people haven't really worked with. So for example, this isn't alpha because we haven't taken action on this, but the ENS domains, well, near is a big deal. If you're smart right now, you're picking up as many .near addresses as you can for less than like 10 cents on the dollar. You're buying enough near to send it to the wallet, send it back, and just register those as yours. And while you're doing that, just somebody one day is going to make a marketplace where they can they can be the ones that register the .near domains, and they can sell them, kind of like what ENS did. And so I don't know, launching that would be pretty cool. But there's, if somebody else jumps the gun, beats us to it, then there's way cooler things. There's always going to be problems in the world. And because there's always going to be problems, there's always going to be high ticket things we can solve. And so hopefully I'll get to work with these really cool guys, and they'll solve the problem, and I'll help vocalize how we're solving the problem.
Hell yeah, dude. Yo, what are your thoughts on hustle culture? Because I feel like in this topic of conversation, it's very applicable. I feel like the grind does not stop. I have not found a solution other than to just surrender to the fact that there is no like end to this chaos. Like I just kind of accepted my role, and I just do what I can to like truly unplug entirely from the world and just literally forget everything by going out and like going for a walk and like reading or just chilling out, or like I'll go see like sunsets, and I'm like really good at unplugging during those times. Like I can completely zen out as fuck. And if I go like, especially if I go like on a few days trip out somewhere, I can completely forget about literally everything about my life for a couple days, and it's pretty much the only thing that gives me some sort of refresher. And it's the only thing that I feel like serves my soul in a little bit, like it feeds my soul. Where like when you get a good night's sleep and your body feels good, your head feels clear, and you feel just good. That's the only way I've been able to do it for like my mental health. But what are your thoughts on hustle culture? Do you have any tips and tricks from your personal training that to help us out here who be overthinking?
Yeah, absolutely. Hustle culture is very intense. I'm a big fan. I feel like when people jump headlong into it, they often get spat out on one of two sides. They get spat out on the, hey, I'm super successful, I'm doing it, this is awesome, hustle culture like never stops. And they've like found good ways for them to recharge, or they're on the complete opposite end. And because of the harm that culture did to them, or they let it do to them because they couldn't walk a fine line, it is a very fine line. They're on the complete opposite side where they're degrading in multiple ways in life. They're degrading themselves. They've fallen off, they've slipped off. And it's because it was so intense and so like, I guess, abrasive that like they just took the opposite stance, and to kind of rid their life of something that was a very negative experience, they're doing the exact opposite, which is really sad. I hate to see people fall on that side. And so I feel like it's a really, really thin line to walk. And there's some bad things about hustle culture. For example, like believing that you always have to be grinding. Yeah. Like in a linear way. Yes, you do. But the problem is a lot of people are going to be doing that in like a very undulating way. Sure, they might be heading in the same direction, but they'll have periods of going crazy or not on it and taking big breaks. And that's understandable too. But if you are in the mindset that you have to be grinding all the time, then it's a lot harder to recognize smart work. The classic, like, hey, work harder versus work smarter. I spent way too much time trying to figure out what I was doing, like while trying to work harder. And if I had taken more time to work smarter and kind of think deeply of where I'm headed, where I want to be headed, all that stuff, I would have been a lot better off. I wouldn't have lost scholarship money in college. I wouldn't have taken so long in college. I could have put more money into things I was very like high conviction about, instead of paying for classes that I don't need, that I'm just finishing to get a dumb paper slip, even though I love Texas A&M, And so I feel like it's just a hard line to walk. And I don't like seeing people fall off. Like you said, I hate seeing like people just be like, oh, they don't make content anymore. That sucks. I like that guy or that girl a lot. And then it's just hard to see like both sides of it. But that being said, like recognize when you do need those 10 hours of sleep to catch up because you're sick or because like your brain literally is about to fall apart. Recognize those times when you're about to hit creative burnout. And then I'd say keep in the back of your mind the fact that you're always storing up your 7 years of plenty for when the 7 years of famine come, because they will come in one way, shape, or form. And you're only going to be punished if you didn't keep that like scared anxiety, like, oh shoot, what if this happens, in the back of your head. And so you have to be kind of friendly with that beast, but you have to keep it in check. That's the same thing with fitness. I would actually say this is the same thing, like hustle culture and fitness. Mm-hmm. You have to be on a linear path moving upwards with fitness, but you have to carefully walk the line of, I could be better, but you don't have to be like 24/7 pissed at yourself that you're not better. You know what I'm saying? So it has to be a rational, hands-off, emotionally hands-off decision that I think I can do better, but I'm not not enough for myself, sort of thing. And so, because if that turns into the flip side, and you completely fall off because you do, some version of self-harm to yourself because you're not where you want to be, you don't see yourself getting that way. That's a complete opposite of just taking like baby steps. And so those people that start in a really intense like slant going into fitness can fall off really easy when they burn themselves out, instead of just taking a general, kind of average, just, nice incline instead of running up a cliff. And so it's both sides of it. It's the same thing with fitness, where walk the line. But if I see my clients like in real life and they're like, hey, I'm such a loser, I'm all this, I was like, dude, you've been so athletic in the past, you've done all this stuff. Like, you can be happy about that and proud about that without like trash talking yourself because you were there. And if you're actually trash talking yourself, you need to back off and see this in the right light. So for example, one of my clients, I'm not going to name names here, like had to pull out of a marathon. It's because they were super sick. And this client is one of my favorite people in the world. And they're coming back from a very, very hard year this last year. It was hard in so many ways. So they had to pull out of this marathon. I said, hey, you need to see this in the right light, because they were super sick. It was cold. It would have been the wrong move. I was proud of them for saying no, because their body would not have lasted well, even though they trained so much for it. So I was like, now you just need to see this in the right light, as like, hey, I was doing the right thing for myself so I can maintain that slant that I'm on. But if they see it in the wrong light and said like, hey, I broke mentally, I was a wimp, and then they completely fall out of fitness because they're so like disappointed, that's the wrong side. So really have to walk the edge of a knife on these things. So
Yeah. But yeah, would love to know for people in the chat on Twitch or YouTube. Let us know if you guys have found any hacks to sort of unplug yourself from the hustle culture mentality of Web3. It's that classic tweet, you see from like Bark or something, where he's like, if you don't show up on Sundays, don't add me on Mondays. Like the classic engagement farming. Holy smokes, dude. I literally did not have that on my list of things to talk about, but the engagement farming, real quick, I want to know about this stuff, because I remember a few weeks ago, you hit me up. You were like, yo, there's actually probably a couple months ago now at this point, but you were like, yo, there's definitely some growth hacks that you can tap into on Twitter. And one of the things was good mornings and good nights. Let me tell you what, bro. So for me, it wasn't the good morning, good nights. It was a combination. It was my fucking hook, if Gary Vee would call it. It was my hook, right? It was the what's it called? Homie knows a spot. He says you're invited, you come in, and then I say goodnight usually in that tweet. And I've done it like every single day, but it's really the consistency of showing up and everyone expecting that post every day, that people show up. And I've seen that the engagement on those posts have gone up dramatically over the past few weeks, because I've just like stayed really consistent with it, because I go out and like find random spots every day. And I just figured I would just film it every single time I'm there. And I just have like a fucking thing of drafts with just random spots in the city where I just hang out and read or smoke or something like that. But talk to me about engagement farming, dude. Talk to me about the benefits, and then talk to me about the negatives, because I know there are some. Because if you're 100% engagement farming and you offer no value, for me, like there's a low chance I'm going to follow them, because I look at their timeline and there's nothing I could possibly gain from this other than one like. And I'm just like, this is not really worth it for me. So talk about that balance, and talk about which engagement farm tweets for yourself have been effective, and then which ones have been a little bit overrated maybe.
yeah, absolutely. One, before I even go on this rant, shout out to the Bad Bears. Shout out to Toli.eth. Shout out to One ETH Ryan. One ETH Ryan helped kind of pioneer this. He is a Bad Bear, and he's doing a lot with the marketing right now. And I was just experimenting with things that they gave me to experiment with. So all this stuff was not my original thought. This is just plagiarized from them. So shout out to them. That is my PFP, Bad Bears number 1445. Love that community. Long story short, I started like really trying on Twitter in January. Now I've had Twitter for a while, and in Web3, I've probably put up, talked about like, hey, I'm excited about this part of Boss Beauties, or this part of Alethea AI, or this part of Bad Bears, or this part of the Near Protocol. But really trying to tweet for growth came when they hit us with this module. And so there's a whole lot of steps to it. But a big part of it is just a classic GM. A good night is not as important, but that's worked really well for Cade. Generally speaking, because there's not like a good night cult, but there is a good morning cult.
I'm just too late, bro. I'm PST. Everyone's been awake by the time I'm up. Like I'm like 4 hours late to the party, no matter what I do.
That's fair. But the GM tweet, the first thing in the morning, like that is a great way to. It's like avoiding cold starting your car, right? You're kind of priming it. You're getting ready to drop whatever break stuff you're going to drop. So you have to have, this goes back to the TikTok marketing. You have to have a mix of marketing deep and marketing wide. When Cade is creating a video that says, when in his mind, he said, hey, when this specific person sees this, it's going to be a knockout, right? That's very niche. That's very deep. It's not necessarily wide. Other people will skip through it. He might get 14 likes instead of a frick ton like he sometimes does. But that's a perfect video for the perfect thing. That's the content you want to prepare, right? But you're going to start it off with a nice little good morning, and you're going to interact with other people. You're going to shoot off anywhere from 200 to 700 good mornings. Really, realistically, 200 to 500. You're going to set aside like 45 minutes to an hour to do that and to actually connect with people and use emojis and use GIFs instead of just GM this, GM that. Make sure you're actually connecting with the people, seeing how they're doing, drop different messages on them. But that's a nice primer for a quality thread, hey, we're going live in a space. And so when I got, 5,000 views or whatever I did on my GM, then we're going to get a whole lot more people in this space. It's a primer for your quality content. And you don't have time to make deep connections with everybody every day. But literally seeing a good morning from Cade Bergman or from Patrick, whoever it is, like it does make a difference in my day. And so them taking the time to do that does make a difference in other people's days too. And so that little bit of dopamine, that little bit of hey, I see you, I care about you. And even if it's some people care about you for a care about back, that's a-okay. That makes a big difference in somebody's day. So that is one part of the engagement farming. Another part is, hey, have your banner look clean. Have your bio look clean. My bio is not clean. My bio could be way better. But my banner's clean. It has my PFP in it. It has tertiary things that push towards my PFP. It's not a sloppy look. Now, my bio is still very sloppy. I can do a lot of work on it. Following specific people, following big movers and shakers in Web3. It's also a mix because you have to follow the big guys so that when you have a clever reply, you can be seen by a lot of people, but you also have to follow the small guys because if you're not making any real connections and you're just following the big guys, you're going to have nobody that really has your back. And so having those 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 reply guys, that is the best. And those are the small accounts. And the big accounts just don't grind the same. It's like Cade's working theory on Bored Apes versus Mutant Apes, and we can go into that, but we do that all the time. And so that's really, really important, and that's just a primer for your quality content. You still have to drop quality content because like the man Cade said, if you're not dropping quality content, he's not going to follow you, unless he's just trying to be nice or throwing a pity party for you because you need another follower. So make sure you're still dropping the quality content and just prime people with the good morning message. Yeah. Now, also another piece of that, if you can include some portion of your branding, whether it's your PFP, whether it's an NFT or your face that you are throwing on images. Like this morning, I stole some Spider-Man meme, like a Spider-Man GM meme, and I threw my Bad Bears PFP on one of the faces.
Dude, I don't know why I love seeing that. That shit is so funny to me when I see people will stick a face on top of a human character, like a PFP or something. I don't know why that shit gets me every time. I think it's because I didn't grow up with like internet culture. It's like I didn't grow up with like Reddit and memes. Like I saw them every now and then, but I didn't grow up on them. So for me, I'm like living it for the first time. I feel like Mike Malak from Impulsive, he's like 40, but he's living like he's 20 because he missed 20 years of his life because he was doing drugs and stuff. That's how I feel on internet culture right now. I think that's why I'm so enthusiastic for everything.
Yeah, heck yeah, dude. Like finding sneaky ways for people to see your brand in more than just like letters, like whether it's color recognition or like, hey, that color palette, that's Noah's color palette. That's a really big deal too. And so that's people attached to your brand a little bit, but that, and then just a classic giveaway. So if me and Cade want to go halvesies or whatever it is on a Wolf Boy Social Club, which is a fantastic NFT collection, and we say, hey, we outline the guide, we do the guidelines, we do the classic, hey, follow Noah, follow Cade, like, retweet, tag 3 friends. And here's the big thing on these giveaways, you have to make them look clean. If you don't make them look clean, you're not going to get people engaging with them and you're not going to get any retention. Also, if you're just throwing giveaways out and you're not dropping quality content, all the eyes that saw your profile with 10,000 impressions off of a giveaway, nobody's going to stay once the giveaway is over. So fix that crap, make quality content. But that's a great way to grow and to tap into each other's audiences and rip co-tweets, because that was awesome. I never got to do that. So that's another easy way to do it. I've grown like 4,000 followers since January, which at the end of January was good. At the end of February, I have not gone hard in February because it kind of hit milestones I wanted to. And now I feel like I'm authentic on Twitter. So.
Well, dude, speaking of giveaways, I see Wolf Boy's social account in here actually on Spaces. So shout out to you guys over there. Shout out to Poppy. I see y'all in here. We are going to do this giveaway. We might as well just run it now because we're still like in the middle of this podcast. So guys, if you want to enter this giveaway, all you have to do is retweet the Twitter space, because that has all the links below it. So people, when they click on that tweet, they'll find the YouTube, Twitch, and spaces link right below that one. So all you have to do is hit that bottom right icon. It's a message icon if you want to enter, and that's only if you're on spaces. If you want to increase your chances, hop into Twitch, leave a comment, say something, I don't know, say hi or something like that. If you want to do, if you want to increase your chances, just post more stuff. So screenshot the space, screenshot the Twitch stream, screenshot the YouTube, post a link, do whatever. I'm literally going to scroll on the timeline later towards this, the end of this podcast, in a few minutes. And we're going to choose a winner like that. It's going to be super like caveman style. I'm just going to like scroll and pick. That's how I do it. I've done that. I've been doing that forever. And it always pisses me off, because I'm like, man, one day I'm not going to be able to do this, or people are going to get mad at me or something, but I just don't have another fair way to do it. I've seen these generators, but I don't trust them, fam. I'm going to use my finger. I've always done it. So we're going to do that. So if you guys want to enter that giveaway, win a Wolf Boy Social NFT. They're one of my absolutely favorite communities, top 5, top 3, maybe even number 1. One of my favorite NFT communities, for sure. The artwork is phenomenal. So I want to get.
We need a disclaimer here. We need a disclaimer here. You said they might be your number 1 collection. How many Wolf Boy Social Clubs do you have? Like 47?
I've got like 20 something. Yeah.
Yeah. He really likes it.
Slowly. So y'all can even track my wallet. Like I picked them up like one at a time over like 6 months. Like I just like them. I don't know. I like the art. I fuck with it. I will sell, like if they pump to like 1 ETH, like of course I'm gonna sell some, but I will always have some on my ledger. Like, cause I fuck with them. I fuck with them heavy. So yeah, if you guys want to win one, just share the space, share the Twitch streams, share the YouTubes, post them everywhere, tag us. Make sure you gotta be following us though, because if I win and I go to message, if you win and I go to message you and you're not following me, I literally can't message you. So you gotta be following both of us. And we will check. We will find you. We will find you. So anyways, yeah, make sure you guys do that. Enter the giveaway. Okay, so we'll move on. So we talked about a slew of different things. Here's the real question. This is the thing that's on everybody's mind. All right, this is on everybody's mind. They've all been telling me, so we're gonna ask the question: can you be successful and smoke weed?
Oh, okay. Oh man, has everybody been asking you this, Cade? Or
I just need to know. I need to know.
Shout out to my boy Bark Meta. Where you at, dog? I would like to hear your thoughts on this. I've never heard his thoughts on this. I've never ever heard his thoughts on this.
No?
Can you be successful and smoke? I think you can. I personally would not, but I think you can. Coffee is my vice, right? I understand the importance of being able to relax and kick back and let your brain unwind. I understand how certain things allow you to focus better or to relax or have better creative thought. Those are both really important. You can have better creative thought when you get 10 hours of sleep. Sometimes you don't have time for 10 hours of sleep. Sometimes you need to take CBD oil to sleep like a rock when you do sleep because you got sleep apnea. I understand the different things about it. Personally, I would not, because I have seen the use, abuse, and destruction of lives because of weed in my life. And that's not like hey, don't bring it up, man. Like, thanks for bringing it up. I personally wouldn't. I would be scared of myself if I was on it. I don't know. I mean, hopefully I'd be chill, right? But I mean, here's just a snippet.
You'd be ultimate chill. You'd be ultimate chill. That's what it's for.
That'd be nice. I've never touched the stuff. I didn't drink in college either, except for like at the end of senior year, I had a beer with my brother and a beer with my best friend. I mean, we hosted a spring break party, me and some of my closest buddies. And we rented a 2-story beach house, and I was the DD and the bouncer and the cook, and it was a blast. And I got to hang out with my buddies, and it was amazing. From a fitness standpoint, your body can't recover the right way when there's alcohol in the system, because then you switch to your fermentation model. And so for me, I'm not interested in that. Also, I seriously would be scared. I was scared that I would be running around campus naked. That was my stance at college. Here's another thing. Yeah, no, I was scared. I was scared.
From doing what?
From touching a drop of anything.
Oh, okay.
Touching a dab of anything. So that's an irrational fear. I think I'm glad that I gave myself that irrational fear, because it's not something, I feel like I missed out on. I had a ton of fun with my friends. And personally, I just wouldn't, because my best friend has has struggled a lot with that. And so I think it definitely can be done. I've seen it done. I've seen really cool people use it as a way to relax. I've seen, all kinds of things. But for me, I'm not interested in spending money on it. I'm not interested in picking up an addiction. I have a very addictive personality. I'd rather be addicted to caffeine. And what else? What else? I would not want to do something unbecoming of me. And more importantly, I would not want to conduct myself in a way that does not honor Christ. And so if that ruins my witness, and sorry for bringing this up, but if at the end of the day, if Cade's like, hey, what the heck, Noah, like that wasn't like you. And I lose my chance to share the gospel with somebody because I was acting like a douchebag or whatever it was, maybe I would just be chill. But if we're having a deep conversation, I start throwing insults at Cade because I'm not in my right mind. That's a really poor representation of the gospel and a poor representation of like hopefully what I center my life around. And so for me, I would not want to take part in anything that changes my state of mind. That's thoughts there.
Yeah,
but you can be successful. Absolutely.
Well, I just like getting different people's perspectives on how they view stuff, because the cool thing is everybody knows someone who's, we all know Snoop. We know the man be chiefing it up. Like we all know people who have done it and also smoke. We also know a lot of people who advocate for being totally sober. And for the reason I ask is because we ultimately know that the answer is like who the fuck knows, because everyone does it and doesn't do it. I just want to know how they kind of interact with it and how they apply it in their life, if they do it all. Like for myself, just to give some more backstory, I guess I can give a little bit of backstory since the Bet Fury audience is new to me. So just for some context, I started in NFTs the beginning of the summer of 2021, and I basically did the whole DGen thing for like 3 or 4 months. And then in August of 2021, I started doing YouTube. That picked up very fast. I started doing lots of reviews, educational content, market updates, podcasts. I was able to go full time in a couple months just from the online business that came from the reviews on my YouTube. And so I kind of did that, and I worked with Uberverse for 6 months in their branding department and on Twitter and their analyst position, things like that. And that was really fun for me. And I was also uploading like 2 to 3 YouTube videos a day. I was uploading 5 to 10 TikToks a day. I did 12 for a year. But basically, like what I'm trying to say is I spent like a year and a half straight editing. Like there's nothing else that I did. I edited, and when I wasn't editing, I was either asleep, I was either like in a trance at the gym just trying to like survive, or I was filming for a video to go edit. And like that was my life. So because of that, a lot of times I just used, I bought like a dab pen and I just was smoking because I knew what was going to happen for the next 8 hours of my life. And I just was like, well, it's easy enough. I'm tired. I just don't even want to be here. And I would just close on. That's how I used it. And I don't know if that was a good or bad thing. That's just kind of how I used it. And that's why it's so curious to me, because it worked. But I know looking back, I'm like, man, like that was a blur how it happened. But I don't know if I could have done it without it, because that level of craziness, like for the people who have been here since the 2021 bull run, shout out to y'all, just because that's like super OG stuff. And it's just cool to have that shared perspective there. But dude, that when a bull run's here, it moves so fast. It's crazy. Like when we're in a bear market, like right now, or maybe we're in like a little bit of a pump back up, but who knows if we're really in a macro bull. That would be pretty unlikely. But in a bear market, for an extended bear market, you literally forget how euphoric it gets. So there's just no way to remember it, because it's so high above where we're at right now. And then when we're there, we literally forget exactly how it felt to be here. And so because of that, we just have no clue. But when the bull market comes, dude, it is gonna get fucking crazy. What do you think the theme is when the bull market comes back for you, Noah? Like, what are you gonna be focusing on, or what do you hope to be able to focus on by the time it comes?
Gotcha. Real quick question, clarifier. When you say what do you want to be able to focus on, are you talking about like me as a content creator, as an individual, like where do I want to niche down? Or are you saying what's going to be the narrative? What's going to be the, like what everybody's going to be talking about? Where are the market makers? Where's everything moving?
Damn, all the above. All the above, bro. That all sounded good to me.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Okay. Man. I would like to niche down on continuing to onboard the best influencers in the Web3 space. I'd like to onboard influencers that are not in the Web3 space, bring them to the Web3 space, and hire them out for our company based off of how large our company grows. I would also like to have conversations with some really, really cool like Web3 brands that I've been following, that I've been a huge fan of for a long time. And so for me, all of my growth, like focused content is just to be like, hey, can I please get this legitimacy, like, check and just be like, hey, not an actual blue check. That's a whole different conversation. But any growth thing I have that's like focus is just like, hey, can you take me seriously so I can have conversations with big brands, because I want to secure the best collaborations and partnerships I can for whatever company I'm working for at the time. Specifically from a market narrative, a lot of the big money right now, and this is from an idiot, so don't listen to me, is in Ethereum scaling solutions, is in layer twos, is in promising tech. And once again, the metaverse is going to be a cyclical pump. It's going to come back. And so whether it's the UAE or, Dubai, like putting, their entire, country's stuff into the sandbox or whatever it is, whether it's sandbox resurging in a giant way, I think it's going to crush Decentraland. Or if it's more applications of AI, there's a whole big spew of things. I think a lot of stuff is going to be Ethereum related. I am very much in a bunch of different camps. Ethereum NFTs are my number one holding. After Ethereum NFTs, it is Cardano tokens, like strictly ADA. And then after Cardano tokens, it is Near and Near NFTs. And so I'm very diverse. I love ETH. ETH is how I got my start. I treat ADA like savings, and Near is the community I'm most involved in now. So you talk about a switch hitter, that's me. Like I'm getting up to bat and I'm hitting it to first base. I'm a lefty. And so as far as where I think the money is going, I think that'll be very interesting. I think it's gonna be very interesting seeing where optimism and Arbitrum are heading. I think it's going to be really interesting seeing blockchain gaming come back, Web3 gaming come back. That was a huge opportunity that'll come back in some way, shape, or form, surging back. I think VTubers, this is not my original idea. I think VTubers will be coming back. Once again, the buddy, the homie, totally.eth. Now when he does streams like this or podcasts, it's not him talking, it's his bear talking, and he's behind it. And when he winks at you, his bear winks at you.
I love that. I love that shit.
Isn't that awesome?
Yes.
And so that's going to be a big thing. VTubers has been brought to my attention by friends. I can't take credit for that. So that'll be a big thing. But yeah, I want to be working with top level brands, and I'm interested to see what will emerge because it's getting talked about a ton, and what's going to emerge because it really has the tech or it really has the community, and what things will just pump because multiple giant influencers are talking about them at the same time. That's what I'm really interested to see. But yeah, I think there's going to be a giant weeding out of AI crypto projects, just like there was of the top 10 every single year, And so I think there's certain, AI projects that I love that I've been talking about for a long time that I got from friends that will stick around for a long time. And I think people are going to be pretty pissed about ever hearing about AI crypto projects here pretty soon, because it's going to get oversaturated and crappy applications are not going to last. So I don't really know what's going to go down, but I'm interested to see. I'm in a bunch of different camps. I'm excited to see how it goes. What do you think, Cade? What is the narrative? What are you going to focus on besides Web? Well, actually, you can talk about that. I want to hear about Web3 gaming, blockchain gaming. I want to hear about all your takes on everything. So,
dude, well, I've loved your take just now. Appreciate that. And also, guys, if you're in the Twitch or the YouTube, make sure you smash the likes for us, subscribes. Appreciate y'all. Giveaways still going on. Just share the space, share the Twitch, share whatever, and tag us. Make sure you're following us. That's all you have to do to enter for the Wolf Boy giveaway. But for my thoughts on Web3 gaming and the metaverse, for me, I'm kind of like you. I have my hand in like 700 different bowls. Like, I'm just down to be here. Like, I really don't like. I know we're all here to make money. But I really am here to participate and like also make money, but I'm really here to participate. Like, I know that by participating, I'll be able to make money. I'll just figure out ways. I'm a content creator. It's a good place to be. If you can push through the muck of the bear markets and the ups and downs of content. If you truly like making videos, I have strong conviction. If you actually like making videos, you'll be fine, because whether you're getting views or not, you still like making the videos. So if you actually like it, you'll be okay. That's why I've been able to consistently go, because I don't know what else to do with my life. Like, that's what I do. I like doing it. So for me, where I see my opportunities is where do I want to be able to make content in? Like, what companies do I want to be talking to, and what access do I want to have, and how do I want to leverage my content to get to that spot? So for me, the metaverse, VR, that whole world excites me because of the experiences you can have. And I'm a fucking experience go-getter, fam. I like finding new experiences that are weird and funky. I don't know why. I just do. It's interesting to me. And when I think about my life, I spent a lot of it in the clouds. I dreamed. I always had these weird aspirations or like weird dreams that I couldn't always put into words, and people would make fun of me for it because they sound stupid. Yet most of them ended up happening because I'm obsessed, and I just can't stop until they happen. So, ended up being fine. Oh, Craig, don't call me now. All right, there we go. Oh, Jesus Christ, hold on. Is it really gonna make me
I
deny?
love it when that happens.
There we go. I had to deny the
Literally,
call on four different devices. I had to cancel the call just now. Thank you, Apple. Thank you,
I,
Apple.
I literally went in and I called my mom right beforehand because I was supposed to call her earlier, and I was like, shoot, I forgot. I was like, Mom, I love you. I can't talk right now. Please don't call me for the next 2 hours. I'll talk to you soon.
I'm silly because like you can literally turn on Do Not Disturb. I just forgot that's a thing. So yeah, I should have done that. Anyways, I want to be in the best position to make the kind of content that are gonna give me cool experiences to have that I can film and vlog. Like for example, you guys seen my vlogs, or if you haven't, you need to because they're high quality vlogs. I came from a vlogging background and I came from a videography background, and so I'm about it. And I'm a good vlogger. Like they're actually good quality vlogs. They don't get like a million views, but they're good quality vlogs. So, anyways, I've done vlogs for all the NFT events that I've been to, like NFT Seattle, NFT NYC. There was one more, Art of Everyone, that I spoke at. So if you just type in Cade Bergman NFT vlog, you'll find some. And I just liked documenting it because it was a whole ass experience that I got access to because I was making NFT content, period. Right. And so if I was to look into the future, I would say, okay, I want to niche down a little bit. I want to be able to make content that are surrounded with the most innovative tech, and that's going to be probably AI and VR. Just from where we're at, there's just no way that's not going to happen. Like the AI is moving too fast, and the VR is basically the next step. Like I don't know where else we would go from here other than just artificial intelligence, or sorry, AR, VR, like that whole world is next because there's nothing left for immersive tech from the phone. It needs to move into something else. So I see that and I'm like, okay, I need to be at the forefront of that. I need to be talking about the companies that are doing stuff about that. I need to be talking about software that is going to be aiding things like that because if a company is going to reach out to a content creator, it's got to be me. So for me, I'm going to be just like getting super hella curious, Gary Vee style, and just do a shit ton of research, find the companies I think I want to talk about, try and shine light on them, try and get seen by some of these companies, and not forget to make my own unique content because in Web3 NFTs, I know a lot of people are going to resonate with this. It's really hard not to just follow the news and just continue doing updates on what's going on, which is fine if you're a show that does that. If you're like the Nifty show and your job is to cover the market as it goes, then that's fine. But if you're a content creator and you're just feeling FOMO because they're all covering it and you're not because you're making these other videos, in my opinion, you should still make time to make those videos and do what you can, but don't feel the FOMO because there's a new thing every single week. Every time we think this is the one, it literally never is. So that's where I'm trying to be, dude. Like that's really where I'm trying to be. And I'm hoping by that time I have, really improved my self-discipline and gotten better in those things and really ironed out some of those habits. But can you talk about real quick, because you're a little bit older than me. You're like in a different stage of life than me, I guess I would say. Like you're married. You got a bunch of things that I look forward to later in life. Talk about the things that changed from like early 20s or like late teens even to now where you're at.
Cade, you're older than I am.
You're fucking lying. Why did I think you were 30? How old is Patrick? Is Patrick 30? Maybe I'm getting confused on ages.
24 would be my guess.
All right, well, never mind. Then restart the question. You're married. You're in a whole different mindset of like reality than I am. I'm like, it's a different stage of life when you're like enter that level of commitment kind of thing. What have you learned from that then? We'll restructure that whole question.
Okay. I'm 23. There you go.
Damn.
Yeah.
Why the fuck did I think you were? I have no clue, dude. That's so funny. I'm like embarrassed as fuck right now. I literally thought you were 30 this entire time.
No. I take that as a compliment. Thank you, sir, for that.
Oh, it's even better. Like that, we're literally the same. That's crazy. Okay, cool.
But I feel like I've passed a phase where people have already stopped talking about like, oh, you have potential, you have so much potential. So like for the people that like receive that kind of talk from people, when you were in high school or you were in college, it kind of sucks when you stop getting those mentions from people like, huh, yeah, that kid, that's a good kid, or that's a promising kid, or that kid's gonna go do like big stuff. Like nobody talks about like my potential anymore. So that's when you're getting old, truly. I feel like, because then you have to go and prove it instead of just like riding on, oh, like I just knew the kid growing up. He's a cool guy. He's gonna do cool things, Oh yeah. Sorry. You asked head in life. You said my take on self-discipline. Is that what you said?
No, just like what the things you've learned from like entering a different stage of life. That's just how I feel like when you make a huge jump of like decision like that. you like have no choice but to mature, I guess, if that makes sense, and you like change a little bit, or maybe you don't.
Yeah, man, do I want to jump into some real life alpha?
You could. You don't have to, but you could.
I could, because I don't think these people ever will ever see this interview.
Wait, say
Sounds
again?
good. I said I think I'm going to, because I don't think people ever see this interview. So
What do you
if they
mean?
do,
There's literally people live literally right now. They're gonna hear you.
not these people. No, I know there's a lot of people here. Yeah, I completely restructured my life when I was 19. When I was 19, okay. It was the when I was, what was that, 18, 19? Yeah. So I was 19 and 20. When I was 19 and 20, summer, like the year of 2019, I completely restructured my life. I had been dating a girl for 3.5 years. Thought I was going to get engaged to her. I thought she was the one. And I met, some camp. I met some other girl who is now my wife. And so that was my biggest jump from one phase to another. I mean, I've had a bunch of different experiences in life. But I mean, you talk about dating somebody for 3.5 years and being friends beforehand. And like, I wish we could date, but we're sheltered and our parents won't let us date before X age, Dude, I restructured my life completely in a matter of like 3 weeks straight up. Wow. And I know you're not supposed to put into practice the Tarzan theory. You ever heard of the Tarzan theory?
No.
So you know how Tarzan swings from vine to vine?
Yeah.
Okay, he doesn't grab onto another vine or he never lets go of his first vine until he's already on another vine, right? So I was in a relationship for a long time, and friends, family, I kind of wish they had told me more of what they thought, specifically family. Not that like this person was a bad person. Oh, they're an amazing person. They're married to somebody else. Somebody else I grew up with. Is crazy. Anyway, I broke up with said girl to marry the girl that is now my wife. I met this new girl who's now my wife. We long distance dated for 2 years. I met her. She was from California. I completely restructured my life. I got grilled, absolutely fried by one of my like longtime mentors. This mentor is an awesome guy. Was an awesome guy. Is an awesome guy. We just don't talk anymore, but we've like made amends. This cool guy like hired me to train him as a personal trainer back when I was just like getting into exercise, and I thought it was cool before I was even good at it. He was just like, hey, I believe in you type thing. He was feeding me that kind of stuff. But I had him sit down. He took me to a nice steakhouse, and he grilled me for about 2 hours on why I was making a really dumb decision and how I was like restructuring my life. And my mom like later was like, hey, if to have had this like life change going like from this future to this future, you had to have a complete train wreck. And I had a complete train wreck. And so there was like a whole community kind of wrapped into, me dating this person. So a lot of people were pissed at me. And it, like in my heart, I was like, hey, I'm receiving a very clear message that this is the person I'm supposed to pursue for the rest of my life. And only this person. And so that's the position I took. And said mentor, when we were at a really nice dinner, opened up his checkbook and he said, hey, you name the amount I need to put on this check. And I will write you this check to consider this longer. As in stay with said girl you are with right now and not start dating this other girl. He said, you tell me how much to write so you don't have to have stress about school and work. Just tell me what to write. I'll write you a check. And you can think about it for 2 more weeks. And I was like livid that he would even think that like money could like change my mind on this. And hand in hand with that, he's like trash talking my parents. And so I was like, oh my gosh. So completely restructured my life. Dating somebody different in the fall of like that year. And I'm, I'm certain about marriage because that was the whole reason I did this switcheroo, this Tarzan thing in the beginning. And so I got used to, at that point in the fall of 2019, I got used to, I guess the summer of 2019, I got used to making people mad and not and being okay with people not being okay with the way I like structured my life and the decisions I made. Up until then, I was like the golden boy, and I was like, people liked me and all this stuff. And then you like have a majority of my community just like pissed at me for this because I was like acting off of like really strong convictions that I think were outside of myself. And I got used to like not being people's favorite. And that was a big life restructuring for me. And so that kind of led into me like challenging myself in other ways and taking new strides, because I was like, shoot, I'm going to suck in some person's point of view. And I hadn't really experienced that like at one time. There's also some really heavy family stuff that was going on at that same time. And so I got double whammied. And so even though I was moving this way with another person, I was like, dang, I still love that person. They still meant a lot to me. I'm going to miss them so much and miss their family. Anyway, just ripped in two different directions. It was a crazy time. On top of that, just struggling with like self-hate, self-doubt. And for the first time in my life, like, I don't think I had these thoughts, but my mom's friend was like, hey, you need to go pray for Noah right now. Cause he like there's a spirit of suicide about him. And this lady lives in another state. I had never talked to this lady. She's like, there's a spirit of suicide, like circling Noah right now. And you need to go pray for him. And so crazy heavy stuff. So mindset was completely different. Right. Anyway. So made it out of that, praise God for that. And, in a totally different like frame of mind. Sorry, what was the main question again that got me on this?
I was just talking about how like what changed like from your before marriage versus after, and like how you changed how you restructured your life.
That was my first jumping into a new hoop. Sorry. That was a big spiel. That was jumping into a new hoop of like uncomfortable. What the heck? I'm not ready for this. And that, that was a whole self-discovery journey. I feel like marriage, there's a whole lot of like, I'm not ready for this and I'm not ready for that. And we need to save up more money before we like try to have a kid. And how in the world am I supposed to like, lead her and make her feel valued and like appreciate her and respect her in all these different ways. And I don't know. I never feel like ready for it. And so just going and doing it like, hey, if you don't feel good about it, go do it scared. That's a serious thing for me. But after marriage, I would say don't get comfortable. There's still a lot of ways I'm learning a lot. There's tons of ways I'm learning. I'm a very selfish person. And I'm getting humbled a lot in a really good way. And marriage is amazing and would highly recommend, not in like a funny way. It teaches you a lot about yourself and a lot about how you can grow. Kate, I feel like I'm everywhere right now.
Dude, I mean, this is literally the answer. Like, this is the answer. This is exactly what I was hoping for.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, and then on that, I feel like, whether it's a company, whether it's a client, whether it's anybody you're impacting, I feel like marriage has taught me a really good lesson. I heard this beforehand going into it. Really good new mentor of mine said, hey, outdo each other in service. If you're always trying to outserve each other, you can't go wrong with that. And so that's hard, especially when you're tired and you're feeling selfish, or you're not even feeling selfish. You're just feeling like self-preserving and focusing on certain things. And you're like, no, I need to be serving the other person, because that is my person for my life. And whether it's your company or whether it's clients, if you are focused on outserving and outdoing them and like just giving them the best you can, like you'll be way better off for it. So that is a big thing marriage has taught me.
Damn, dude, that was can we just get fucking W's in the chat? God damn, bro. The fucking life alpha. That was epic. So I asked that question just because I know there's a lot of people who are my age that also watch and think about these things. It's just, I mean, it's one of those things that you don't know till you're on the other side. So it's very curious for me. And the best part about Web3 is that I don't know that you can like talk about these things. Like that's something that I felt was special. Like when I first interviewed some of these founders of projects, even that, you only look at them as like a businessman or a businesswoman or an entrepreneur. And then you find out they have like very real, raw experiences of human emotion. And you're like, whoa, this is a human who like, I don't know, like had divorced parents when they were younger and they had to go through this life. And like when I talked to Wendy, like talking about her upbringing, like being fucking struggling and like having to run and like do all these crazy stuff, it gives an extra depth to these people. And if we're going to be here in this Web3 like movement, then I think these kind of conversations are super fucking important. And also before I move on to the next question, we have some rapid fire Q&A that I'm excited for. I'm going to choose the giveaway winner. So guys, you have about 8 seconds to like keep doing giveaways because I'm going to refresh one more time to choose this Wolf Boy winner. I see a shit ton of activity on the timeline. So we're gonna scroll. I'm also gonna scroll a little bit through the Twitch comments because I did say increase your chances because it does. Because I'm a very big believer in subconscious like programming, and I'm very confident that if I see your name a couple times, that I'll be scrolling and something happens, and maybe I recognize your name, and my finger just happens to click on it. Like I'm just saying, these things are what happens. So here we go. I'm just gonna scroll. Noah, while I'm scrolling, trying to find this winner here for this Wolf Boy social NFT. Shout out Wolf Boy. Would love to get your opinion on this question. This is something I asked Crypto Gorilla, I think, that I was curious on was, have you ever felt misjudged for something you said online after starting content? Did you ever say something that came out wrong or someone took it the wrong way? Probably, I mean, honestly, I don't know if it had to do with near, but like almost potentially like legal issues if you say something like the wrong way because of that kind of content, like has that ever happened?
Oh man, dude, that is I don't think like in a big like widespread way. I think nice. You're a cool person. That person's pretty cool. You know that. I feel like on more on a personal level, like person to person, it's been more prevalent. Like believe it or not, there's people I've like blocked on TikTok that are just a handful. There's people that I'm like low key not about that I haven't blocked on TikTok, but I'm just not going to interact. For like misunderstandings or whatever it is, I don't think I've said anything on like a live that's like gone viral. Been like, oh, that's a big except for like my like L takes from like 2021, 2022 that like didn't pan out the right way, and so like it looked like an idiot, but it is what it is. Yeah, there's just some people aren't worth like dealing with when they're like, oh man, like what the heck, you mentioned this and it didn't go up X amount in like a day, and now they're like making videos like, oh yeah man, this token's great, I've been here for a long time. I'm like, bro, I remember all like the deleted videos you made and all like the scammy comments you made of like yo, this is such a Ponzi. And it's like now they're like, oh yeah, I've been here since day one. So there's a lot of like stuff behind the scenes, and I feel like I've kind of had like a big fat respect for people that will like publicly like call people out when they're in the right, like when somebody else is doing harm to the community, and when you have the sheepdogs that go out and like publicly take care of it, that's awesome. If it's just some stupid drama, that's another thing. When people go out and take care of like the fold as a sheepdog and they say, hey, this person XXYY, all that stuff, I really respect that. And I feel like a lot of times not a whole lot of good can come from that. And so like sometimes I'll go like low key, tell that person, hey, I respect you because you called out this person, like algorithm wise, this wise, being blocked and being like mass reported by people. Like it might not end up well in your account, but like I think you did the right thing ethically. Like I really do respect people that are like sheepdogs and put their account at risk for saying the right thing that needed to be said, that like bigger content creators that like do stuff for a living like can't say because they can't start a freaking nuclear war on like a platform, And so I feel like I've really come to respect those people, and I've probably I want to say I've done call outs less. I don't think I've done a call. I think I've like jokingly like duetted people's stuff. But I really respect people that like take a stand on things. Because I mean, in this last year in 2022, we've seen a lot of big players do some serious harm to the crypto and Web3 like industry, and we're still having to explain to people like, no, bro, the problem with that exchange is it was centralized. Like you gave control of your stuff to some guy that like was proven not trustworthy. It doesn't mean crypto is a freaking scam in general. And so like there's micro versions of that where it's just interesting to see. But respect for the people that are calling people out. Like sometimes that needs to be done. And yeah.
It's true shit, dude. True facts here being spoken on the podcast. By the way, during that call, or Jesus Christ, during that little that spiel, we did choose a winner. We have Luke Slim Berg, and I think it's probably because I kept seeing his fucking name pop up in the chat. I think my fingers just knew, and it was pure like I was scrolling, and Luke is the fucking winner for the Wolf Boy Social and fucking team. Okay, congratulations, Luke. I'm gonna shoot you a DM later, fam. If I don't, actually, no, just shoot. I will shoot you a DM because otherwise someone's gonna make a quick account called Luke.mbt and just like scam me like it happened a few times ago. Wait, were you there? I don't know if you were there, but I had given away an NFT and it was one of my first ones in a while, and I like tagged the winner or something on Twitter, and like instantly someone made an account, copied everything about that account, and like DM'd me first, and I literally sent in the NFT like a fucking idiot. And then like 5 minutes later, the real person messaged me like, "Hey man, like I won," and I was like, uh, uh, no, 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 not like this, bro, not like this. So that's how it happened. But anyways, shout out to you guys for sharing this. I appreciate y'all. Yeah, Wolf Boy, welcome to Wolf Boy. If you haven't been there yet, okay. So I got some rapid fire Q&As. Guys, if you have any last minute questions as well, throw them in the chat, or if you're in Spaces, throw them in that bottom right message chat thing, or go ahead and throw up a request because towards the end I am going to bring up someone if you want to. You don't have to, but if you want to ask him a question directly, you can just throw up a request and we'll toss you up here. So here's a couple of my final Q&A questions. One of my favorites: fuck, marry, kill, but it's FUD, Flip, or HODL NFT edition. So we're going to come up with some NFT projects here. I know you mentioned Mutant Apes earlier because of that debacle for me between Bored Apes and Mutant Apes. I'm a big fan of the mutants. I think they're way more prevalent on Twitter. I'm more bullish on them, to be honest, but who knows? But we're gonna use Mutant Apes in this as part of it. We're gonna throw Digi, or what's it called? What's the project that just did the fucking Super Bowl ad? Did Digidaigaku? Digidaigaku. You don't know them? All right, you tell me. You tell me your top 3 famous projects that you're aware of that you know are all like top category, and we're gonna do this game.
Can we take the apes out?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because that helps it like be more flavor instead of just being like, oh, I'm gonna take the top ones. I feel like Azuki has to be up there, right?
Azuki.
I'm not trying to just copy what like you did last time. Let's not put up doodles because we've done.
Yeah, things have happened. Also, doodles have come down a little bit too. Like people have changed their opinion a little bit on doodles. So maybe we leave doodles out. So we got Azuki.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Oh man. For the record, side note, I take a CryptoPunk over Bored Ape all day.
Damn, really?
Different. I know CryptoPunks are smaller.
How about this? We're gonna keep it this though. Like we're gonna say the floor is 15 ETH for all of them. We're gonna pretend like they're all 15 ETH, the same value right now. And you have the choice to FUD, Flip, or HODL. We have Azuki, we have CryptoPunks, and I think I want to throw in like World of Women because it's like a little bit of like a right hook almost of like, okay, they're very, very different brands, and we're gonna say they're all the exact same floor price. FUD, Flip, or HODL. I see Stefan's question: how long will the live be? Only a few more minutes, guys. We just have a couple last rapid fire Q&As, and then we're gonna pop out of here. So probably another 10 or 15 minutes or so. But yeah, FUD, Flip, or HODL, Azuki. Fuck. What is it? What is it? Why am I literally blanking?
It was Azuki, it was CryptoPunks, and it was World of Women, and they're all the same ETH floor.
Okay, Azuki, CryptoPunks, World of Women, 15 ETH floor for all of them. FUD, Flip, or HODL.
Yeah, so I would FUD World of Women. And this is
why. My God.
This is why. I'll say this once, I'll say it again. Anybody wants to talk to me about this, I got you. Boss Beauties is a superior project, okay? If you're going to go down the same narrative, Boss Beauties has signed way more partnership deals. They're doing way more behind the scenes. World of Women is just up there because they were first, okay? Boss Beauties has done so much more, okay? World of Women, Jake Paul got into it. Okay, great. Like I know they've done stuff, and World of Women now has like a cool community, and there's still like big winners in World of Women. But from a like personal perspective, I have been a massive fan of Boss Beauties, and I'm not trying to start beef between the two because I know the two are on good terms. If they were the same price, I would take a Boss Beauties over a World of Women all day. And there's a reason why I hold 8 Boss Beauties and 0 World of Women. It's not because of the price, okay? It's because of what they freaking do. So I would FUD the crap out of World of Women.
Wait, now hold on. Before you move forward, though, if you use that argument, then Punks being the first NFT collection can't be part of the reason you hold it then.
Right. I would, though, because I would get access to and we could just take Punks out, right? Because Punks is just like a tough one to have in this because it's top 2, right? But Punks, the people that have Punks are devs and big movers and shakers. The people that have Bored Apes are celebrities and marketers. The people that have Mutant Apes are like content creators. So from a like fundamental, who would I rather hang out with? I'd rather hang out with punks than I would Bored Apes, because punks are like technical people and like really, really interesting people. Bored Apes have a lot of money. That's just what they do, right? And so Azuki, I would flip because you can make a lot of money off of it. They have a really interesting community. But yeah, the culture of the board, I mean, the crypto punks aren't like all sitting together being like, yeah, let's do this stuff. But the technical people that you have access to, David Hoffman, I don't know if Ryan Sean Adams has one. Those are the Bankless guys. Brian Armstrong, like all the Brian Armstrong from Coinbase, like just because of who's in it, I would definitely say CryptoPunks is what I keep.
You're gonna hodl it.
I'm gonna hodl CryptoPunks. I'm gonna flip Azuki. Azuki's an awesome community, and I would FUD World of Women because Boss Beauties has done 10x more what they've done. They just haven't received the recognition because they weren't the first ones on that narrative.
Got it. Damn, guys. I definitely want to hear y'all's opinions, what you guys would do. FUD, Flipper, Hodl, Azuki, CryptoPunks, World of Women. Some strong fucking arguments there, though. Like, really, I mean, really convincing arguments. Damn. Wow. Okay. Cool answer. I was really, really interested in that one. And that was fun because we haven't thrown those projects into this game yet. Cool shit. Okay. We got a couple more here. Guys, if you're on YouTube, if you're in Twitch, I don't know how Twitch works exactly, but smash the like, subscribe, follow, do all the things, Twitter Spaces, likes and retweets are the best way to support the space. If you've enjoyed this conversation so far, we just got a couple last questions here. I am really excited to ask these. Universal base income. We're not going to go into a full deep discussion about it, but UBI is very interesting to me because it feels inevitable to me. And I've heard very strong opinions on both sides by people that I respect on both sides. So I just want to know your thoughts on UBI. If it's coming, if you like it, if you think it's not coming, if you think it's the stupidest thing ever, what do you think?
Yeah, great question. I have no idea if it's actually coming. I feel like a lot of crazy like dystopian stuff is only crazy until it's real, right? And so like I don't know if that's just a narrative people push so they can sneak in something else, because that's a very common thing with the world nowadays. You push a scary narrative, or you say, hey, all eyes on me for this, and you push something else out. So I don't know if because everybody's talking about UBI, if that means that we're actually going to have it, or that's just the guys that they're pushing some real steps to something else that might be worse or might just be different there. So I'm not bullish on UBI. I'm also not bullish on communism. Okay, UBI would freaking suck. It would just change the way a lot of things were done. I have no idea if it's coming, but yeah, I feel like there's always some truth to some conspiracy theories, right? Like that's what makes them so potent. I'm not saying UBI is a conspiracy theory. I'm saying that's, people are fundamentally flawed, and so that can definitely be on its way, and things are headed that way. What was the other question besides UBI? Or what was the second part of it? It was a 2-part question.
Let's see. I basically asked you what your thoughts were, and then if you thought you were coming, but you kind of answered both.
Okay, cool. Yeah, UBI would suck if it came, but
damn. What? How about this? What if it was only, I don't know, 20% of what you need? Like if you pay $3,000 a month for living, basically, and the UBI was $400 a month, would that be good? Everyone gets it, or you think that would also hurt?
No, I think that would also. Well, I mean, because as soon as you get that, as soon as you dish it out, everything in the world is going to adjust accordingly. I feel like I'm not going to have the winners versus losers talk, but I feel like that just incentivizes laziness. Like when everybody receives the same thing for nothing, you're just incentivizing the wrong thing, and everything will change. The macro scene will change. Basic living stuff will change. Yeah, sure. Like on a surface level, like $400 a month or whatever it is would be nice. That'd be great. I would put it to good use. Other people might not put it to good use. I might not put it to good use. I probably just think I'm putting it to good use. That'd be nice at first. And then you'd have to reach down deep and be like, hey, what are the implications from that? What are the ramifications because of this? And kind of figure that portion out. I think $400 would be nice. I think that'd be something that the world can't afford, and crap would happen because of it.
Damn. Hot take from Noah. I love it. I fucking love it. Okay. All right. We're going to get through I think there's like 3 or 4 questions, but they're quick. They're like 5-second question, 10-second answer. Actually, no, maybe not this one, but sort of. What were you like in high school right before that
Yeah.
transition? If you had to just like quickly describe like what you were actually like before you turned into like no, you know what I'm saying?
No. You know, I was an extrovert. I recharged around people. I didn't need any alone time. I was a goofball. I was a clown. I was high energy. Um, I could walk up to anybody and shake their hand and like just be a happy person. And I like to run with large amounts of people, you know. That was before I moved to, hey, I do need some recharge time alone or just some alone time. I'd still say I'm an extrovert, but I recharge a little bit differently now. I need a hybrid. I also, as like after post college, even though I'm still in, you know, some coursework, I could have my circle of like 8 closest people, 10 closest people, and I don't need the rest. You know, as far as like having people I directly go to like talk about life deeply. Everybody else I don't have to be deeply connected on. I've tried to run the rat race and like be friends with all these people, and we host people every single weekend. I mean, every single night for the rest of the week, I am booked for something, and we're having tons of people over this weekend. I cannot wait to host people. I love hosting people, but as I've moved towards that, 8 people, like or a small circle, like my best friend. I love my best friend. Not talking about my wife, like my best childhood friend as well. That's all I need, right?
Damn, dude. W. That's fucking cool. I love learning about that stuff. And what I want to do, which is cool because we did that like group TikTok live. I want to be able to do that in person at one of these events. If we can get like all our friends to show up at the same one and we do like a round table podcast where we just go hella deep. I'm down for it. I think that'd be super fun. I just like learning about that. That's like the power of these podcasts. It's why I like doing podcasts versus like interviews. You can ask these kind of questions and go deep because the point is to go deeper. So I love that. I love that. What do your friends think about those NFTs, by the way? Do you talk to them about this shit at all? Are they invested in Near Protocol? Have you converted them? Are you that good at marketing?
Yeah, great question. So I have a Snap group. I've had a Snap group since I got into crypto. It's called the ETH Boys, and we have guys, girls, all kinds of people in there. And I just hit them with it. Hey, this is what I'm doing. This is what I think you should do. I'm an idiot. Be careful of what you listen to, sort of thing. And I mean, that was when Ethereum was back at $1,000, which for me was a long time ago. Like the first time it was back at $1,000. My friends make jokes about, you know, Noah's preaching the near gospel again. And I'm like, hey, you know, I feel that you can be safe with the big market movers, all that stuff. But I have gotten a lot of people into Web3. I have gotten my best friend into some really niche Web3 stuff. And I've gotten my brother-in-law, his best friend, and my father-in-law all into the crypto space. And now they're all like different forms of degenerates. So I would love, no, I was reading the top comment. It messed me up. I would not love. I heavily talk to people about these things. I wish my brother that lives upstairs with us, the country singer, would get into crypto. He's too hard to work on. He just doesn't care right now. But I would love to get my family into it. And some people I have.
Speaking of, this will be our final question because we might as well. If you had to give a fucking elevator pitch or Uber pitch, yo, by the way, guys, make sure you follow me on Twitter because I'm gonna post this video later. I was in an Uber. I fucking shilled decentralization to this motherfucker, and I had a strong argument, and we were getting deep into it. There was like a 5-minute conversation about decentralization. It's actually one of the core topics I'm talking about for the future because I believe a lot of the things that we're doing in culture are leading me to believe that humans are inherently going to move in this direction. So anyways, it's going to be an interesting video. But if you had to describe Near Protocol and shill this man, your goal was to get him to have a Near wallet by the end of the day. How you doing it?
How am I doing it? I would say something regarding innovative tech stack, user experience, hand in hand, seamless onboarding. I you know, now that you hit me with the
I know it's
I don't know if I have a great way to present it, like in a sentence or in a paragraph. I'd say, hey,
How about this? He tells you he's a heavy crypto dude, and he's been interested in Near. He just like doesn't know enough. He just needs you to get him like over that last finish line. He's already interested. He kind of knows sort of the basics about it. He's interested in crypto, but almost like me, like as if I was like your Uber driver yesterday, and you're just trying to get me over the finish line, like just like iron out a couple things. Be like, no, it does this, this, and this. We're trying to this. I know you guys are like, I mean, like one of the bigger, like more broader goals would be to like rival Ethereum, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like that would be like one of the things I would think about just there. Like it's faster, it's more on chain, it's just more like practical at this point,
Yeah.
to actually use. And
Yeah.
it's early as fuck. Like that's the benefit you get if you take a gamble and you end up being right that this is the one that pops, or for someone else it might be Elrond, or I guess they're Multiverse X or Ada or something like that. You're like, no, this is the one. For a few, you're like, nah, I think it's near.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say I would be careful about saying out of my mouth that we're going to beat Ethereum, because I think a lot of other foolhardy like L1s have said that. I think Ethereum has a giant hold on the marketplace, and I love Ethereum. Ethereum is what got me into crypto. I would say there's an extremely large opportunity with the Near ecosystem and the Near community and the access to winners you have that are in there right now. I feel like because it's not so saturated, you can have conversations like this with people that you won't be able to have conversations with in 2 years, because there's going to be a giant queue. I would say as far as like tech, like, just investing near rock solid play. That's why it gets, 30% of my DCA allocation every single time I DCA every single week. And yeah, I mean, I think what Ilya is doing and bringing AI and Google and just his background working for Google and the Google Cloud services into the Near protocol, I think it's going to be huge. I think we are making seamless transitions to Web3. I think we're bringing people in without them even knowing really. And I think their governance is making strides and bounds that I haven't like seen before, and like truly focusing on a decentralized approach. But yeah, I think just the micro projects that are going on here are really interesting. I need to work on that. I need to work. That was a crappy 2-minute
Let me tell you
pitch,
something. I asked you that question on purpose, and I set you up on a trap for my last question. I'm sorry, but I set you up on a trap. And the reason I did that is because I think there's an opportunity here to help, because we talked about how to properly build brand in this conversation. There is no way to onboard someone in a fucking 1-second conversation. It's not going to happen. The way you onboard people is by putting a fucking lot of content, post a lot, and post consistently. The reason I'm even bothering to learn about Near Protocol is because I watched Noah's content for months on end because he wouldn't stop posting videos about it. That's how it's done. And that's for NFT projects, for marketing, for any brand. That is how it's done. So I set Noah up with a fucking horrible, faulty question. It did actually probably help you because you were like, okay, let me, like, there's like ways to say this more like direct. However, the real final question is, do you want to shout anyone out? Because I feel like we did a great job highlighting Near. We talked about life, talked about NFTs, working on a Web3 team and what that's really like, the mindset that's required for these kind of things. And we talked about a lot of life alpha. But do you want to shout anyone out as we bring this podcast to a close? Because it was a great fucking conversation. And shout out to everyone in the Twitch stream and Twitter Space and YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely. I would like to shout out dlear.defi on Twitter. And I'd like to shout out Near at Night. Okay, that's a podcast we put on. We bring outside of people into Near through that podcast, and we talk about Near communities on Near at Night. Actually, I think there was Near at Night started at the same time we started this podcast, so I couldn't bring as many people in. So go follow Near at Night. Go follow dlear DeFi. He's doing some really cool things. I work directly for him. Good friend of mine, good colleague. And yeah, I'm excited to convince you, Cade Bergman, to come on to Near at Night next week.
Sheesh. If I don't have something on that day, then I'll be there, bro.
Sounds good. I'll find a day you're open.
Hell yeah, dude. Shout out to all the people. Shout out to people in the Twitch stream. I see someone. I can't believe that this just popped up when you were talking, but someone literally just redeemed the $500 prize. That's insane. Holy shit. Shout out Robin Saint. I guess you're a rich person. You figured it out. Pog Champ. W's in the fucking chat. If you were watching in Twitch streaming, I guess, you had a chance to win $500 cash prize. Holy smokes, guys. Thank you so much for being here. If you're in Twitter Spaces and you enjoy the conversation, likes and retweets the best way to support the channel. Shout out Wolfboy Social. I'm going to get that NFT to you, Luke. Shout out for being in here. Wolfboy Social. Shout out to all of them, fam. If you're on YouTube, Twitch, shares, retweets, likes, any kind of engagement, we love you here. Shout out to all you guys for this first stream on the Bet Fury official Twitch account. Shout out to all the people, the Joyage Kingdom. It's all about taking a chance on yourself, rolling the dice on you, and seeing what happens in this life. Guys, until next time, also, shout out Noah. Thanks for being here, man. I really had a great time on this conversation with you.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me, man.
Oh yeah, man, guys. Until next time, continue on your Joyage, continue to learn, and be grateful you're alive watching this video or Twitter Space or Twitch stream.